Hi there. Welcome to Life Between Coasts, the podcast where we dive into personal journeys connected through synchronicity. So grab your coffee, light a candle, and let's begin. I'm your host, Leah, and we're glad you're here. Today, we invite Mari back from last season to talk about some new adventures that are coming in to her life and some updates to what we learned last year, or last season, I should say. So Mari, welcome.
Thank you.
So let's talk. Where do we find you now?
I am at the precipice of starting this new military journey in June after my best friend Jenny gets married. So I've just been in the gym working out all that atrophy and just getting strong. I got to keep up with a bunch of 20-year-olds, so
Right.
I don't want to be at the back of the pack.
So how are you getting yourself back to that point? What are you doing at the gym? Tell me about it.
So I've been lifting a lot. I've been training with the band to do pull-ups. I'm going to be too embarrassed if I get in there and I'm in my mid to late 30s and I cannot do any pull-ups. So.
Right. So how many are you up to right now?
Big pull-ups, I can do 8, but I have one more lighter band that I can do 3 on.
Okay.
And I can't quite do a full dead hang pull-up yet. I can do a partially I step off of a box and I'm partially kind of bent arm. I can do it, but working up there.
Yeah, no, because it's hard. I mean,
it's so hot.
I guarantee I wouldn't be able to pull.
It's a lot of upper body strength.
Right, because that's where I find myself is the upper body. It's, opening jars and things like that. I'm always handing that stuff off. It's just I can't do it. So
if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right, right. Well, and I remember when I was younger, when I was helping my family with raising babies, and so you're always lifting a toddler. So you always
do get that upper body strength lifting kids up.
Yes, but since
those are weights,
I don't have to do that anymore. I luckily don't have to do that anymore. So what else do you do at the gym?
Lots of, I got a personal trainer for a little bit. My dad actually, shout out to my dad, gifted me some personal training sessions.
Nice.
So that was really helpful. It kind of got me steered in the right direction, showing me how to do the workouts properly so I don't really injure myself.
Right.
So I'm just really glad that I'm not hurting anymore. I can sit on a couch for hours. Sometimes I play video games for 3 hours at the end of the day with my roommate, and I noticed it recently. I'm yo, I can just get up off the couch and it doesn't hurt.
And that's you know what? And then, but you think about it, you're okay, when did that happen? It's been like this for a while probably, but you just recognized it.
Clicked, and I'm oh, wow, I don't hurt when I go to the gym anymore.
Right.
I'm almost up to running a full mile nonstop.
Good.
Not fast, but consistent running.
Right.
Which is good for my hip atrophy and stuff.
Right.
So I have to be able to run a mile and a half in 14 minutes, which I think once I get enough just running in the spring when it warms up, I think.
Right.
So,
oh yes, I know.
14 minutes for a mile and a half. Pretty generous.
Yes, and it's been so brutal cold here, so you don't really want to run outside anyways.
Nope. I was tempted to last week when it got warm for that.
It was beautiful. It was our little peek at spring, right? Now, what steps have you taken for the enlisting?
I found all of my old paperwork from college, so I pretty much have everything ready to go. I can just hand over most of my old paperwork, and it's got the same. I have to include my parents' birth certificates,
right,
and my birth certificate, and a bunch of other paperwork about all the places I've lived, which is kind of nice because I'd forgotten some of those really old addresses.
Right. So yeah, so you don't have to go back and be your own.
Half of it's already ready to go, and I don't know. I just keep getting signs that this is the right thing to do. I just feel. We're not going to talk about the administration.
Right.
I don't have to agree with them to enjoy the benefits that I would get out of the military.
Right. Well, that changes.
Yeah.
So the administration always changes.
It does.
So that's what, that's why I don't talk politics. It's like, because you know what?
Don't have to. We can all have differing opinions and we can still work together.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, that's why this show has been so non-political, because I'm so tired of the division and the hate. And that's where,
frankly, like, I don't even watch the news anymore.
No.
I'm like,
well, as as we had our conversation when you came in to do other business, of course, taxes and such, but I always say, the news media, all they do is drip in fear. And every word they say is attached to fear.
Yeah.
Because they want us to live in fear and not think for ourselves and not, speak for ourselves.
When you're in fear, you're in fight or flight response. And
always
you can't plan anything out. You can't really like sit with an idea and build.
And then you react and you don't respond. And so everything is a reaction. So when somebody's coming at you hard, you're going to come right back at them hard. And then social media has made us completely numb behind the screen, all of the things that I complain about. And that's why I, of course, and I don't want to call it a joke because I want to speak the, I want to call it the truth. But what I said when we were sitting at the desk, I said, I want to save humanity. And I've been telling everybody that. And so we're manifesting one person at a time. We're showing that we're more connected than we are.
Absolutely.
And that we're more alike than we are different. And political aside, everything else, all that BS can go to the side because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Being human and being right here with you is what matters. So
that's actually one of my really big, like, things that I feel like I can bring to the military is like, I'm going to be like 15 years older than most of the unit. It's like, I can bring them like some big sister vibes. So like, I got you. It's okay. Look, I feel like I'm going to like be a really good emotional support.
Right.
I've had the time to like really like get to know myself, be confident in like my ideas and my surroundings and how I interact with them.
Right.
And I feel like I'll be able to give that to the people that I meet because they're going to be a lot younger and they're going to be a lot less sure of themselves and what they're doing. And like I wouldn't have been like, I think I'm much more confident about the decision now because of how excited I still am to do it. And I'm like, yeah, like this is a weird calling for me. I'm a very like free spirit at heart, but like I can also enjoy the aspects of the military. That's why I'm going in as enlisted and not as an officer, even though I have the credentials for it. Because then I'm free to go afterwards. They can never call me back. So that's my like free spirit aspect of it. But
right.
I feel like I have something to offer to the military, at least the other recruits in my like squad, battalion, whatever.
Right.
That I think a lot of people overlook in the camaraderie aspect. Yeah.
The friends, the long lasting friends. I have a couple people, cousins again, that had been in the military. Some were in the Navy, a couple were in the Army. So I think one was in the Marines, so I'm just thinking I dated an ex-Marine. And the friendships that come from that, you see, in their connections, like at the wedding, of my one cousin, his guys were there, and it's just like they were brothers.
Looking forward to that.
They were truly brothers. They had been through a lot, and I think they were stationed in, oh gosh, were they? Maybe like in the Yemen area, somewhere over there. So they had a lot of bonding in the desert,
Absolutely.
So, I mean, because when there's not a ton going on, you just, you get from each other. You
got each other's
stories, that's the connection right there.
The connection, it happens everywhere. And like, honestly, my heart has been like pulling towards the sea. If the military thing doesn't happen, my backup plan is a fishing rig in Alaska. Like,
oh, yes. Oh, that could be, yes.
Like,
well, you're preparing for.
I want to be out on the water. I want to like have that like close proximity of camaraderie, even like people that you don't. And this is like something that I've also like learned in my last employment was I worked for 7 years at this place, which was the longest I'd ever been employed anywhere. And I ended up managing to get along with just about everybody. And I think that that's also super important, is to like find those commonalities, even if you don't super love every aspect about every person, you can still find a way to like work together. And like, I feel that opened a lot of doors in general, just for like getting things done at work and like learning how to do that. And it just making the process of getting things done in my life so much easier, because like I'll get on the phone and talk to somebody and like you don't have to like them, but you can get along with them.
Exactly.
It's just good practice.
It is because there are a lot of different personalities in office situations. And sometimes we don't know what somebody might be dealing with at home too, and they might bring some of that in and not intend to, but that extra stress and things. And so it's always giving somebody a little bit of grace before, again, jumping on them for or reacting to them for something that they may have said or did, because you don't necessarily know where it comes from. Some people you do know where it comes from because they're just mean. They're just like, yeah, there's nothing you're going to do to change them.
Like, even the curmudgeons, though, like, once you
can
find
crack
the
'em.
one thing, once you find one thing to crack them, like,
Yeah.
they want to be connected with, even though they're curmudgeonly. Like, nobody dislikes connection. Everybody wants to be appreciated.
It's always a challenge.
Yeah.
It is. But I've had a couple people, especially even in the tax office, and it's taken me several years, but I finally have broken a few of them where I've gotten them to actually smile and be much more talkative at the desk.
I had a coworker like that who he was great to work with,
Mm-hmm.
but I could never really tell if like I was making him mad or frustrated or like he was having a good time. And I'm like, I'm the kind of person that like, I want to have fun no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I'm working out, if I'm working, if I'm traveling, I want to have fun. I want to have fun. And so it's hard for me to like look at him and be like, I can't tell if you're having fun or not. And so the very few times, like I can probably count on one hand how many times I got him to like chuckle or smile. I was like, yes.
And you go home and you're like, score. Got that one. I know it's funny because then after that person leaves or you go to a different room, you're like, yeah, I got it. You just do a little happy dance kind of thing. You're like, oh yeah, totally. I won. I won the day.
I got the one to smile. But yeah, like it's, I don't know, like I just feel like more motivated than I've been in a really long time. Just like doing like time management for studying for the ASVAB, time management for working out, and working on the house. I just bought us a new fridge with the tax money I got, because our fridge had died like 3 separate times. We'd fixed it 3 times and it just kept on dying. But the reason we couldn't buy a fridge before was because they trapped it inside the kitchen when they remodeled the house. They didn't make any of the doorways in the kitchen wide enough for the fridge to come out, even if the door's off.
Oh my God.
So like everything extra down to the bare box would not fit through the door.
So you literally had to cut the door, or the fridge apart into pieces, or open the door.
Because we wouldn't have been able to get a new fridge in.
Oh, that's true. Oh, sorry. I just said that 10 out.
They would have worked, but
I didn't even think about that one.
they would have had to.
I'm smarter than that, but just like it's Sunday. My brain's fried.
Oh, that's okay. So, yeah, we ended up getting the contractor, widening the doorway. Yeah, and getting a new fridge, which was nice. But yeah, I've been doing pretty much like needful repairs on the house, studying, working out, hanging out with friends. And it's like I've made myself a full-time job of preparing for the military, but I have just enough money pushed aside for all of the bills. So I pay everything up front, and whenever my roommates pay me their portions is when I have money.
Yes. Yep.
But at least I have it ready to go, so I don't have to worry about like not having enough ever.
No, but it's funny because as I watch you, I mean, you're absolutely glowing, because, when you came in, you had just gotten back from Japan.
Walked off the day before.
Yeah. So there was probably a little bit of jet lag, but you were still ecstatic and you were able to just reminisce about your trip. And
honestly, it's a little woo-woo, but I got a chart reading, an astrology reading, because I wanted to know like what things lay in store for me as the planet's design. And like, I don't believe in it like it is rote, that is what's going to happen.
Right.
It's a perspective awareness shift. It makes you aware of like, be aware of these times. Things may go well, things may not. Things may evolve in this kind of a way. They may not. It's all very, I don't know, theoretical, but
not paralyzing.
But it's not paralyzing. It just makes you like think about things in a different way and have awareness differently. And my the astrologer that I had do my reading said, I have a very high likelihood of being abroad. And I was like, yes, because that's what I'm going for.
Right.
I mean, if I can get stationed in Japan, that would be the dream. The dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been told that if I get head of my class when I'm training for the job that I get, that I get to pick where I go. So I'll be studying so hard.
I was going to say, somebody's going to be the A student.
I'm getting all that studying, like habits, like reformed right now. I was kind of studying a little bit with Troll even because I was just staying home with her and I needed something to do. So I was just studying Japanese so that we could just hang out together. She'd be in my lap. And
Right.
I had something to do.
And now your focus when you get into the Navy is you want to focus on welding.
I would love to. Honestly,
Well,
anything that gets me a certification, because like my ceiling for income is very dictated right now by my lack of certifications.
Okay.
I have a college degree that my parents really wanted me to have, but they didn't want to they were like, oh, that you'll get out of that like skilled labor stuff eventually. Like they just didn't believe that was what I enjoyed.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, either I'm going to come out with some certifications or they'll have all of my like housing, food and everything paid for. I'm very good at saving money. Like I can have a lot of fun on very little money. So I'm either going to come out with certifications and be able to get a better job, or I'll come out with money in which I will buy myself some certifications.
Right.
I'll take the classes
from the experience, but no, you'll get the certification.
and they'll have discounts because I'll have the military benefits. It's just it all makes sense.
Yes.
I really hope I don't have to kill anybody, but being in the Navy is less likely.
Right.
It's possible. I don't want to, but
yeah. I mean, I hope that we don't have to. I just hope we don't engage in any war.
I hope we don't engage in any wars. I hope we
I want to see. Well, no. And not even talking about that, but it's just like I just think that overall that people are craving that connection, you know, and that the differences in the division and that everybody that all of that.
The globalization is so like intense. Like we all share the same internet for the most part. I mean, there's slightly different, but we have access to each other across spanning the entire world.
And the economies are so connected, you know,
be like, oh, we're not that much different from people in Europe or people in China or people in the Philippines. Like everybody's on the same path now. We're getting a lot more like even balance of like technology rising and like living conditions and everything. Like it's so easy to see the parallels.
Yes.
As opposed to like.
And so I think if we identify more of that and just recognize each other as just being human. That's the first thing, you know, we're people. We all bleed the same color.
That's like why I'm so excited to be stationed abroad anywhere, literally anywhere.
Because you get
your first choice, but anywhere is fine.
And then, you know, and just the learning experience, because it being housed on a ship in small barracks and that's going to be,
I mean,
close quarters. You ready for that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I live in a house with 4 roommates. And it's like 1,000 square foot house. Like Gucci.
Yeah.
I can share space.
Okay. So that's
as long as I've got my own bunk and I've got a computer so I can write. I never told you about I don't know if I want to if I
put it out there.
I don't know if I want to though, because what if somebody thinks it's a good idea and gets it done faster than me? It's my idea. Yeah. So like a couple of episodes in.
Okay.
I would like it to be like 10 1 to 1.5 hour episodes.
Okay.
Per season.
So like an old radio show of sorts, you know, but you said audio drama. But sci-fi, but so listening to it, but you know, almost.
But like a movie for your ears. Think of it that way.
Where your imagination can make the picture.
You have all the sound effects you need. You have like the voices panned in different areas. You have like.
So you're in the so it feels like you're in the center of the action.
Yeah.
And then your imagination can take it.
Exactly.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Favorites. Fathom is one of my all-time favorites. And Malevolent. That one's like a Lovecraftian horror. Yeah. But anyways, as long as I've got a computer,
you'll be able to continue
I don't even need like internet. I just need something to save my writings on.
Yes.
And I've been kind of shelving it for a minute because I know I'm going to get a lot of downtime and not a lot of things to do. And I'm like, I'm going to love having this to work on.
And that's an opportunity because, how many times can you say you're going to have downtime where you have the opportunity to work on something else? Because usually if you're working or doing something, it eats away at the time that you would spend on
I
that.
can possibly balance. I started writing it in October, November last year. And that was before I had quit my day job. And there's just I couldn't write and work and have like a couple hours of social time at the end of the day and make sure I go to the gym on time. Like there's not enough minutes in the day.
There's that.
It's so frustrating. I constantly tell my friends I hate sleep, and they're like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "I do. It's a waste of time."
It does. It eats up a lot of time if you think about it, because I need personally 7 to 8 hours to feel like I'm rested.
Yeah.
And so when you take a third of your day away, it's and then cooking and cleaning and everything else.
Chores.
It's just. You have to do it, but it's just like,
especially in a house with like 5 people total, like it gets messy fast.
Oh, yes.
But if we all pull our weight and do our chores, we Gucci. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So what else is, so we're writing, so that's good. So that's an outlet, and you said October, November. So that's about the same time. So I started about the same time. So I think that was something that was in the wind.
Creative.
Yes, that we're all, so that's about where we were there. But what else has happened since you were last done? You've had you've had some loss.
I have had some loss. I lost basically another brother. He was a really good friend from college. Buddha was what we all called him.
Mm-hmm.
He was just big, happy dude. He just wanted to have fun too. Like that was his whole vibe.
Mm-hmm.
He lived with us for a while, him and his girlfriend. And it didn't work out for various reasons. And I don't want to like mar his name or anything.
Right.
Like perpetuity on a podcast or something. But things didn't work out. He moved out, and there was 1 week before he passed away. We pulled up at a stoplight together, and I was like, "Yo, Buddha, what's up?" And he was like, "Yo, not much, Mari. We should hang out." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I miss you." And that was the last thing we said to each other. I'm so, so glad we did that right.
It totally gave you an opportunity.
Sucks that like he's gone, and well, you met Wyatt. I made a new friend through his passing, which also sucks, but like it was really cool that like Wyatt was friends with him like as a kid, like they were childhood friends.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. So he took me on a little trip down memory lane. It's like where they grew up in Ipsy here, and I was like little bits of Buddha I wouldn't have ever known about. Like that was I think that was the hardest funeral I've ever been at. There was no seating. There was barely standing room. Like he was so loved. So yeah, it was just unfortunate.
Oh, do you find when you have a friend, somebody that's close in age to you, do you find that makes you more alert or keen to the potential limitations of human life? I mean, does it make it recognize your mortality, and you're like, okay, well, I'm only in my mid to late 30s, but anything can happen tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Or anything could happen when you walk out of the door.
These last 5 years, I have lost a lot of people, a lot of friends, some family. I lost my stepmom about a month ago.
Sorry.
And it was harder than I thought because we had a pretty rough relationship for the last 5-10 years.
Okay.
But like as a kid growing up, like she very much like influenced like the things I like. She was all about like my goth look, and she was like, "Let's go get you some clothes, whatever you want." Let's take you on a shopping spree. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." She let me watch like scary movies, and my mom would never. And I think there's a little bit of her that probably did it to get under my mom's skin. But like, I think she also liked having a little partner in crime. And I love that too.
Yes.
I needed that. But like, as we got older and she and my dad have my sister, like, things got sour very strangely. She started to spiral really badly. Her and my little sister didn't talk for a long, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
But it went south really bad. And when she passed, like, I think everyone was like sad but a little relieved. She had made a lot of people's lives really hard. But the thing that stuck with me was the feeling of like deep sadness for her, because like there was so much good in her when I first met her. And I was really sad that like she didn't have her redemption arc. And between like all of the loss over the last 5 years, it's really like spurred me forward to like check off those bucket list items.
Right.
And to like do the things that I'm feeling passionate about, no matter how dumb they sound to everybody else and how wild and like possibly irresponsible. I am being responsible though, because I know I may not make it out of the military. It is the military. There is a likelihood that you don't make it out.
Right.
So I got my last will and testament made. So at least my house will remain in the custody of my roommates and they can figure it out. But they're all my besties. Like, they'll be fine.
And now,
hopefully, they don't have to. But
well, of course. I mean, well, no, we're all expecting you're going to be back. You're going to be back. You're going to be like massively like buff, and you're going to become like this. You know, it'll be Rosie the Riveter 2.0. But you know, it'll be like, yes,
it's on my hair.
I know it was pink when you were here.
So I grew it out, and so that pink lasted. It was almost down to my chin.
Okay.
And then I shaved it off for my birthday, and I'm not touching it until I get out of the military, ideally, as long as I get into the military.
Okay.
Because I want it to be a timeline of my evolution as well.
Nice.
So depending on how long my hair is, you know, how long I've been like working on this dream.
Excellent. Well, and I think a lot of it too is just being more self-aware. You know, you seem to be very self-aware. You know what you're after, what's going to satisfy your soul, and going and doing a birth chart and things like that. You know, I believe in all of that. I mean, I've been reading. You know, I've been working with. It's
eerie how accurate it is.
It is.
It's eerie, and like it can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but it can alert you to periods where you will encounter different difficulties or obstacles or boons of like beneficence.
Right. And that's that's all just because of the way the stars and planets and signs were aligned at the time that you were born, where you were born, at the time you were born, you know, and it's very
really
specific.
The extrapolation of all of our like magnetic individualities and our gravitational individualities. I mean, depending on when, where, and under what conditions you were born, and like where the planets are, like I can't say that like we're not all like our molecules aren't pulled differently, they interact differently. Right. Like you can get infinitesimally large with trying to explore the universe and infinitesimally small.
Yes.
And like the two extremes do still affect each other. And it's just, I could go on.
No, you're absolutely correct. And that's why, you know, I think I had mentioned it in the first season too. So I share a birthday with somebody that's famous.
Yeah.
And I would love to have that birth chart done.
Right.
So it happens to be the first lady. So Melania Trump.
Oh my gosh.
So our birthdays are the same, April 26th. So she was born in like the early part of the 70s, 90, 71, 72, something like that, or maybe even just 70. I was in 79. So we were both in the same decade. But of course, she was in Eastern Europe. I was here in Michigan. And so I would love, and I have thought about this, to write a letter to her. And I think I'm going to write a letter out to her and just say, can we please compare our birth charts?
Yeah.
Because I would love to see how much aligns and how much is different, because obviously we have completely different. And so it would be very, very interesting to me, because you said eerily accurate. So it would be very interesting to see how somebody born on the same date, how different that does make it, especially based on location.
Makes you wonder about like fate and destiny. All
yes. It is.
I feel like I'm very in control of my own fate and destiny, but like, then you have to wonder, like, how much of this is just me continuously rebelling against the path that was laid before me? What if that path hadn't been laid before me? What if I had walked the path that was laid before me?
Yes. I mean, we think about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, or should I have made that choice? Should I have done this trade?
No regrets, honestly. Like, I like where I'm at. I like the randomness of my life, for lack of a better term.
So talking with my mister. Okay. So I'm going to disclose something that he probably would get mad at me if I say it. So I'm going to say it. Yeah. Don't get mad. Listen to one episode. Just listen to one episode, and then you can get mad. But until you do that, don't get mad.
Well, you don't even have
Well, I'm mad at him right now. He's so busy. I can't. Eventually, he'll listen. But in this case, I'm gonna spill some tea. So he was, he had gotten a divorce because of infidelity, on his part, and so that's one thing. Even
Right.
as of yesterday, I mean, he still holds guilt for what he did to his ex-wife.
I mean,
And he feels bad because he's like, she was such a good person. I truly loved her. And they were just, they had just had their daughter. There was a few other things that were going on between them. I'm not entirely certain what they were. I can, knowing him, I can suspect a few things, but it
was difficult
yes.
as it arise, and like we deal with them and
Right.
the ways that present themselves. And sometimes that's intimacy from the wrong places.
Right. And it's, yeah, absolutely. And him saying those things, I regret this. What if this would have changed, or that would have changed, or this would have been different?
That means that like it made an impact. That
it did.
I will disclose too that I have cheated once in my life, and it made me feel sick to my stomach, and I've never done it since. I
right.
serial dated, and I have like explored like a solo poly existence for the last like 5 years.
Okay.
But it's much easier when you just like state your expectations clearly. You just have full communication, and people know what to expect from you. Right. And you don't have to worry about that guilt and that like, I want to do what I want to do. Cool. Well, then just say that at the beginning.
Right. Well, and that's what he told me. So, unfortunately, you can't change the past.
Yeah.
What you see in the guilt, that's, again, like you said, at least he has the remorse for it.
Yeah, that's good.
And he's been carrying it for such a long time. But he just, one of the things is, I said to him, but sometimes that fate and destiny comes into play. Fate, you don't have a choice of. Destiny you can kind of control a little bit.
Yeah.
But they, I said, if you didn't make that decision, or if that event didn't happen, we wouldn't be sitting here in front of each other either. So you have to take the good with the bad. So you made a bad decision. It did affect other people. But maybe that was ultimately what had to happen because of the situation, and that could have been the universe, that could have been the God, or whatever,
Every moment in your life has led to now,
right?
Like that kind of thing.
And so if you would have, it's like that. What was it? The butterfly effect or something? That movie. If you go back and change it,
everything changes.
Right. So why would you want to do that if things are good, right?
If you like where you're at, if you like where your head's at, if you like where you're going, like, I'm really glad I'm going to the military as late as I am now, honestly, because I've had time to grow and be as sure of myself.
Right.
Not be a blank slate for the military to just stamp with their ideology. Like, there's a lot I like about the military. You don't have to stamp me for me to approve of a lot of it.
Right.
But I don't want to be stamped with an ideology. I'm glad I wandered and I did my adventures, and I like congealed my personality the way that I wanted to, in a very like volitional kind of way. And like, I was able to buy a house and have a bunch of friends that I trust, like, live and stay in there.
Yes.
It's super cheap for all of us. So
right.
I would not have had that if I had gone in earlier. I probably would have. The military is super traditional when it comes to like, especially getting married too, because like you get mad benefits for being married. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people just do for the benefits, and it fucks their lives up. I've heard so many horror stories.
Right.
Yep. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So, but that part is exciting. Just knowing that you are totally prepared for this.
I feel very emotionally, mentally, almost physically prepared.
Almost physically. So
We're getting there.
or just round of the corner that we'll see you running up and down Washtenaw. Well, they don't have sidewalks all the way. They should.
No, it switches sides.
Yeah, I know it's really messy. That's the only thing about this main.
So many bike tires, like jumping over and up onto curbs and down from curbs.
Yeah, no, it's getting better. But I would say Washtenaw is the worst. Just because lack of sidewalks
that's like your main thoroughfare.
Yeah,
like you need
and people are crazy.
Either a biking lane or a better sidewalk.
Yeah, and it doesn't
there's so few people actually like walking. I feel like it's fine to use the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a really walkable like part of town.
No, it's a pretty discouraging. I don't know how many accidents happen just in front of the office here, so it's unfortunate when we see that. So outside of the military, what else is going on in Mari's world?
I don't want to get too into it because I feel like I'll jinx it, but new relationship vibes and energy.
Fun.
Sure if I was going to mention it on the podcast, but I've been like terribly smitten.
Yeah.
This guy.
That could be part of the glow that I'm seeing and the smile from ear to ear. Oh my goodness.
He's so supportive of the military too. He's like, I love that you're chasing your dreams. Fucking do it. And I'm like, so if it works, it works. It blasts through. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And it will have been a really good time.
And this
till then.
This just happened.
But I am so done limiting myself for people. Like I will move mountains for the people that I love, but I will not limit myself for the people that I love. I will do things for, but not against myself.
Yes.
And like that was a hard lesson to learn. I have done a lot of that with previous relationships. And there was a couple of days where I was like, do I go to the military? And I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Mari,
don't worry.
I was like, shut up. Don't you do that shelving stuff again. Like,
no. Well, it's, I had spoken about somebody getting limiting beliefs from people because that's what they impressed on them. It's like, you're not going to do this, but so you're not going to be anything because you're not going to become a doctor.
Right.
So why would you
argue your limitations? And sure enough, they are yours.
Yes. And so no, the sky's the limit. That's it. That's the beauty of it. You get to choose for you. And that is really, really difficult. It is a difficult move when you start setting boundaries and holding to them.
It feels really good when they're received. Like, yes. Like when I told him right off the rip, like I was like, this isn't like something that I will physically be here for a long time. I'm leaving in June, so if that's a deal breaker, that's fine.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, we can be fun. Like, let's just keep it casual. And it has progressed out of casual. And I'm like,
and that's nice. So how did you meet?
Just Tinder. Like, it was just a really basic like way we met. But like, listen, the first date we ever went on, it was at like a little outdoor patio bar in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
Casual, nothing fancy.
Nice.
We show up, sit down, have a few drinks. Some friends sit down next to us and like the girls are struggling with the boys because they wanted to take a picture by something and the boys are taking terrible pictures. And I was like, I'll help. And they're like, thank you.
Yeah.
And so we had a little back and forth dialogue. And this is also like really nice for me because like I am extroverted. I do this. I will like get up and help other people.
Right. Oh yeah.
Interact with other people and be like, you're really cool. Hey, want to talk to my friends? Yes. So when he jumped in and he was like just rolling with the beats and just was like having fun. There wasn't like a pull on like the attention. He wasn't upset. Like I was like, this is awesome. And at the end of the day, like when we were getting up to go leave, the friends were like, hold on. We have a bet running. The boys say that you guys have been together for like a year at least. And the girls say this is your first date. Which is it? And we were like, it was first date. And they were like, oh, we hope it works out. It was just super cute. We got like cheered on there and cheered on my birthday date. Like it feels like the world be cheering for us.
Yes.
My friends like him. Like,
see? And so sometimes because and me going back to the universe, things that happen for a reason or, specifically. But maybe the universe knew that was the source that you were going to and they needed to pop that person in there for you. So but it's so good.
It's a wild ride because
And it happens fast. So that's the thing is
not mine.
you
Like,
said
we went from casual. We saw each other a few times.
to, oh my gosh, I want you in my life.
Yeah, and then like I think it was my birthday, that birthday date that you took me on. It was like super sweet, and like we just get each other like both ways. Like I feel like he's just as smitten with me, but I don't want to put words in his mouth. But he seems pretty smitten too.
And what now with like the like when you can be like silent in the same room together and just be there.
He's been helping me honestly with the math portion of my ASVAB.
Right.
I've forgotten so much math, and like math is like his strong suit. So he's just been like
just the support system.
Oh, thank you.
See, yes, I know that sounds
great guy.
Oh, that's perfect. No, it sounds like it's the pieces of you are coming together and, filling voids and
I mean, there wasn't really like a void. I honestly didn't.
Well, you can control, of course.
I mean, yes, I have Stormy though now.
Oh, yes.
Did I tell you about Stormy?
No, you didn't. But you've mentioned before we came on air.
Stormy.
Because
today, yes, he is all over this.
Oh, we were talking about, yeah. But that's okay. That's love.
Oh, yeah.
For equals love, yes.
No, he's a sweet boy. I was mildly conned into taking him home.
Okay.
A friend of mine got pregnant during the pandemic, and we were only friends in the rave scene.
Okay.
And so, but we were friends on Facebook, and she was watching the Troll Chronicles, and she was like, "Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I had made a post about like anything to get me out of the house or something like that.
Right.
And she's like, you should come visit me. I haven't seen you since like pre-pandemic days. I had a baby. I'd love to introduce you to him." Right. And lo and behold, she also meant her other baby. She started dating this guy whose ex-girlfriend was a pet hoarder. And his ex-girlfriend had hoarded 2 ferrets, 6 dogs, and 22 cats in a 1,000-square-foot home.
Man.
Rough. And so when they broke up, she left him with all of it. So then when my friends started dating him, they actually did the work to like individually rehome them. And so when I went to visit her, there were 6 cats left, and he's big. He's a big kitty.
Okay.
But he's so scared of everything because all the cats would gang up on him because he was so big. He just had a like very dominant looking presence, and
yes.
Like, they like beat the crap out of him, and like big kitty stuffed into the smallest ball in the smallest corner he could find. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for a kitty. Like, she just passed. Like, I don't know where I'm going with my life. I had some like inkling that I was about to move, and I was like, I don't know if I should do this. And she's like, just foster him. If it doesn't work, he just can't stay here. And I was like,
yeah,
okay.
He needed to be able to get comfortable
and not be in an environment where he was getting like
beat up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we both cried the whole way home, him and me, because I was not ready. And I just stayed in my closet for 2 months, and I was like, that's fine. I'm not ready anyways. So I just had litter box, food, water in my room, and we just hung out and I would visit him in the closet and like give him a little pet. And then my roommate, Drew, one of my best friends too, he was like, all right, that's it. We can't have a closet cat. So he climbs into my very small closet. Like, this is like a one person fits in this closet. Okay. And he crawls in there with Stormy underneath like my hanging clothes. And he just sits there and holds him and pets him. And Stormy's like, But after that day, Stormy came out.
Really?
Yeah. It was just, and so Drew is his official dad.
Okay. Good to know. Drew's a friend of the show. He's helped us so much with the sound part.
Is he ever going to take an episode?
He's getting there. Good.
Yeah, he's ready for it.
He wants to talk about music a little bit. So he's getting back into that. So he wants to promote that. So
we're every day. Like, he's been so good about keeping to his like schedule.
Mm-hmm.
He's really like hacked how to like modulate and keep his like emotions clear, and like he's got a formula. He is, yes.
from last year, speaking with him even to this year,
Mhm.
I think that I can see. I mean, I definitely see a big improvement.
Oh, yeah.
He's, he seems lighter.
I know a girl who's got a crush on him, but I'm not allowed to tell. So if he watches this, I'm gonna be playing some matchmaker.
Good, good, good. So, okay, things to look for. Oh, I love this. That makes
Easter
fun.
eggs, little
Oh,
Easter eggs if they watch.
that is so much fun. So we'll find out when Drew makes it to the show if something love is in the air. So no, that'll be so much fun. So no, that's perfect. So now when you were on in the first season, you had a list of anthem songs.
Oh boy.
What how has that changed? Just from
Honestly,
the moment?
I mean, yeah, I had like a ton of things that like struck me in the moment. I think like, are we back to an anthem? Are we
Getting close. Getting
Okay.
close.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you planted that seed. I honestly haven't been listening to a ton of music or like audio because I guess I have formulaic playlists that I listen to in the gym. I have a running playlist that always gets me hype. I have a lifting playlist that always gets me pumped. Like,
Yes.
I have certain things that make my brain want to do those
Right.
higher. But as far as like exploring music, I've definitely like backed off because I'm not DJing right now. I'm just focused on like on studying for the ASVAB.
Right.
So a lot of my listening has like slimmed down. However, oof, I don't know. Baby metal has been like popping in and out of my life very consistently for the last 2 years. I went to a show with Kelsey last year where they performed. That was the first time I ever got to see them live, and I've been listening to them since I was in high school.
Okay.
Maybe college. Late high school or like
Right in there, right on the line, right there. Late teens. Late teens. So for at least, 20 plus years, so definitely.
Right. Oh my gosh. Maybe college. Yeah. I'm like, oh man. I think they're my age. So yeah, at least
Okay.
I don't know.
So you've grown up with them just as they've grown up a little bit.
But my other roommate Holly, she loves Electric Callboy, and so they did a collab together, and then we saw Electric Callboy in Chicago last year.
Nice.
And then this year, that guy I was talking about, he was like, "Yo, have you ever heard of?" So he thought I didn't know who Polyphia was really well. I know him by name, but Polyphia and Baby Metal just made a song together, and he's like, "You gotta listen to this. This sounds like really cool." And I was like, okay, cool. And like, yeah, Baby Metal just keeps popping back into my life pretty consistently. So I'm gonna go with oh man, I don't even know how many tas are in it. It's Ratata or Ratatatata.
Okay.
But it's Straight Cowboy and Baby Metal did that collab, and that one's my favorite that I've heard so far. Ratatatata.
So like, right. So no. We'll totally make sure that we have the right title. And Alexis obviously knows who you are referencing, because I got to say I've never heard them, but I will because I make it a point to listen to every single anthem.
Pop metal is what they are.
Pop metal. Okay.
Baby metal is pop metal, and the last like 2 years they've been doing very wide range collabs with very like famous and good artists from all over the world.
Right.
So like
I like all genres, don't you? So I mean, I could go all the way up to like Anthrax and Slayer and stuff like that, like heavy metal, and then bring it back down and hip hop and I go everywhere. It doesn't matter. There's certain songs that I just don't,
Yeah.
Not
sea shanties are my new thing.
Sea shanties?
I need to learn a bunch of these before I go to the military because I'm not going to be on a ship and not know a single sea shanty.
Okay.
So I want to learn at least 3 sea shanties.
Okay. I have, what's funny? I'll look. I have these old books from like, gosh, they were when you do road trips as a kid, and they were all the old sing-song songs, for like the road trips, it's so funny. But
the bottles of beer, the wheels on the bus, etc. But like better than that.
Better than like the old folk version, And so I just came across, actually, I have not here, but one of the books at home. So I'll look and see if there's any. And then my grandfather was in the Navy. So it was definitely and that's where he got his welding certificate, and then came back and opened up his welding shop in Hansel Park. So, I mean, it was the Navy that put him on the track to what he did, so I totally, think it's amazing that, you've decided to do this. And I think that, just every time, from our very first point of meeting, which has been probably about 5 years ago, roughly, maybe.
In that line?
Is somewhere right away.
That makes sense.
Because you were still doing ghost painting.
Yeah, my spectral painter. Yes. Shout out spectral painters. I could use some work right now. Yeah. I'm right on the edge.
And you've got, and you're building muscle, so that'll help too. You can, that'll be a repetitive way of increasing muscle mass, right? So, but yeah, absolutely. So you were still doing that. And so that was probably 5 years ago. It was I think it was just before COVID, or just, right there.
Yeah. And also it would have been like around the time, it would have been before Troll got sick, because, it would have been like 2021.
Yep. So it was right there. So, yeah, it's been, I know it flies so fast, but just like I said, from our very first meeting, I'm like, I know I like this girl, so it's just like, but just that energy and that positivity that you bring.
Same. As soon as I met you, I was like, the way you did my taxes, and like, we just had a conversation, and it's been this way every year since, where we just do this basically.
Yes.
And then you're like, your taxes are due. I'm like, oh, you have all the information?
Yep, we're done. Didn't you know you just come in for a conversation? You happen to get your taxes done during the process.
When you get the taxes done?
I've always said that. And I've been working,
I recommend everybody to you. I was like, oh, yes. I'm like, no, you just gotta go see.
It should be easy. It shouldn't be stressful. And I just try to make it as comfortable and easy as possible.
Magician.
Yeah. And so that's the part. And that's why I think I've been able to build so many good relationships with people. And honestly, in our client base, we retain probably about 90%. Of, I would say it was 90% plus of our clients year over year. So, and there's a reason for that. It's because, they
good
come back
human interaction, trust, good quality, work. It's so easy, and you always get me back more than I think I'm going to get back. So I'm like,
oh no. And all legal.
Yes. All legal.
No stuff in the books.
Sneaky things.
Nothing like that. So, but thank you again for joining us on this week's episode of Life Between Coasts. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to grow our community of listeners. We would like to thank Mari again for joining us again on this season. And we hope you have a great week. And until then, bye-bye.